Hi, I'm Brian Sietsma and this is the IBM Spectrum Protect Plus video series. This video is focused on Oracle. In this video, I will show you how to protect and recover Oracle databases using IBM Spectrum Protect Plus. Now you might be asking, why would I use Spectrum Protect Plus to back up and restore my Oracle databases? So we put together a list of 10 good reasons. First of all, Spectrum Protect Plus performs agentless, application-consistent backups and restores. This way, if your Oracle database were to crash, you'll be able to bring up a restored copy of that database in an application-consistent manner. In addition, SPP supports Linux operating systems running on IBM's Power Architecture technology, as well as multiple channel support. SPP also allows for job-level pre- and post-scripting, granular permission configurations with role-based access control, as well as integration with RMAN. SPP has support for Oracle rack configurations as well as ASM and LVM-based deployments. In addition, in conjunction with SLA policies and schedules, SPP allows for instant database refreshes and resets, as well as instant restores. And finally, all of this can be done while using IBM Spectrum Protect Plus's self-service portal. Setting up your virtual or physical Oracle servers for backup and restore is actually very simple. The first step is registering your Oracle servers within Spectrum Protect Plus. But before you can successfully register these servers, there are certain requirements that need to be met. First of all, Oracle database must be running in a mounted or open state and must have archive log mode enabled. It is also very important to ensure that the Oracle server is resolvable by the IBM SPP appliance. Another requirement is that Python version 2.6 or 2.7 must be installed. And finally, SSH service must be running on port 22 and SFTP must be enabled. In addition to these requirements, the Oracle user agent must have the following privileges. The user agent must belong to the Oracle inventory group. It must have specific pseudo privileges in order to discover storage layouts, mount and unmount disks, and manage databases. After ensuring the requirements are met, you are ready to register your individual Oracle servers in Spectrum Protect Plus. In order to do so, you will expand the Application drop-down on the menu on the left-hand side of your screen. Once this expands, you can select Oracle and Backup. Now, click Manage Application Servers, and then click the little plus sign to add a new application server. Spectrum Protect Plus supports both standalone and rack configuration. But when using rack configurations, be sure to register each individual node using its IP address, short name, or fully qualified domain name. So you will enter that here where it says host address. Then provide a username and password for that Oracle server, or select a credential from the existing user list here. Then, click Save. After a successful registration, the new Oracle server will appear in the list of registered servers above. Immediately after registering an Oracle server, this server is automatically cataloged by way of a new job called the Default Application Server Inventory. This inventory job will discover all databases on each server and cluster and runs automatically each morning. Now that we have successfully registered an Oracle server, we might want to troubleshoot or test the registered server to make sure that everything is set up correctly. In order to do so, select the Test option from the Actions drop-down from that server. This test verifies communication with the server, tests DNS settings between the IBM Spectrum Protect Plus appliance and the server, and also installs the necessary zero-touch agent on that server. After completing a test of that Oracle server, you will see that the network configuration has passed the tests, the remote agent has been deployed, and we have passed all Linux prerequisites for this Oracle server. Now we are ready to run a backup. Now that you have registered your Oracle server or servers and the inventory job has discovered the databases on that server, you're ready to set up a backup job. Again, from the menu on the left-hand side, we'll click Application, Oracle, and Backup. Next, select either the Oracle instance you would like to back up, or you can choose to select individual databases by selecting the instance name and selecting the specific database you would want to be backed up. Once it's selected, you can click Select SLA Policy and select the SLA policy that you would like to manage this backup. If, for example, you wish to enable replication for that Oracle server, simply create an SLA policy with replication configured and select that SLA policy for your backup job. After assigning the Oracle instance or the database to an SLA policy, this backup job will run automatically based on that SLA policy. So you'll notice that I've added this PDB database to the gold SLA policy. This means it will run and it will take a snapshot every 2 hours. However, you can manually kick off this backup by clicking the Actions drop down next to the appropriate SLA policy and clicking Start. You can also manually start this backup job from the Job Monitor screen under System, Job Monitor. Here, you will find the specific job you want to run, and again, in the drop-down, select Actions and Start. After allowing that gold SLA policy to run to completion, you'll notice that we have successfully backed up that database. Now that we have that successful Oracle backup, we can perform an Oracle database restore. In order to do this, we'll navigate to the Application tab, Oracle, and now Restore. From here, we can select the specific Oracle server that we would like to restore, and then the database that we would like to restore. In addition to this, we can actually expand this restore points. We'll give this a second. This will actually pull up each individual snapshot that we have taken of that specific database. So if I wanted to go back to April 12th at 1 o'clock and use this as a restore, I can click this little arrow and it will be added to the restore list. After adding the desired recovery point to the restore list, we can set specific options for this restore job. We'll click Options. Here you can choose to use the original name and location for this database, or you can provide an alternate name and an alternate location for the recovered database. This is also where you choose the specific restore type you would like to use. There are two main restore types, test and production. A test restore restores the database in no archive log mode, and the restore job will sit in a resource active state until you choose to clean up. A production restore, on the other hand, actually restores a database into production. There is no resource active state as the NFS share is unmounted upon creation. A third restore type is called instant access. This instant access restore allows the user to manually browse the contents of the NFS share and use custom RMAN commands. Like a test restore, this will sit in a resource active state until the user chooses to manually or automatically clean up the job. Once you've selected the restore type, and for this restore we'll use test, we can go into the advanced options. Here, we can choose to overwrite the existing database, we can set initialization parameters, among other specific options. We can also set up pre- and post scripts for this recovery job. Once we've finalized the specific settings that we would like to use for this restore job, we can click Save. Now there are two different ways we can finalize this restore job. Say we wanted to set this restore as an automated or scheduled job. We wanted to run this on a schedule. We can click this Manage Jobs tab, click the plus sign here, and let's give this job a name. Let's say Oracle. Next, we'll set a frequency. How often do we want this recovery job to run? Say I wanted to run this every 2 days at 12 noon. I can select a 2-day frequency and set the time to 12 noon. And then I can click Save. Now if, for example, I didn't want to have this as an automated job and I just wanted to kick this off manually, I could simply click the Restore button. This will set off an on-demand job that will run immediately. After successfully completing a database restore, you will see your job sitting in a resource active state. Now you can leave your Oracle database sitting in a resource active state while you complete your testing. After completing that testing, we will clean up that database, that mounted resource, by clicking the Actions tab down below and selecting Cancel Restore. This will shut down and remove the test database. It will unmount the clone volume from the Oracle server and delete the clone volume from the vSnap. Once that cleanup completes, your restored job status will change back to completed. And that is how we will complete an Oracle backup and restore using IBM Spectrum Protect Plus.